my shoe. I believe I should be live. I'm gonna just verify that it's all up and working in the quickest way I know how. No idea if this is the best way, but tends to work. Okay. Looks like we should be good. But still, verify that it's all up and working. $30 off Better TV just for you. Make it yours. It's like, what is the point of fucking advertising? No idea if this is the best way. It's not. Looks like they're not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay to have advertisements. They're bad and they shouldn't exist. So, all right. Looks like everything's up and working now, though. So, I'm Alex. I'm the Billionaire Buster. Doing stream number 8. Pretty happy about that. Looking forward to hitting stream number 10. Just because I feel like that's a first double digit number. Nice one to get at. This stream's happening on Tuesday for a mix of, I was going to do it Sunday, but Sunday was actually my anniversary, and it was my 10-year anniversary with my partner, who you've maybe seen or heard at some points in the background. They're amazing, and I love them. And we had a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. And then I've also been feeling a bit congested the past few days. I think I've had a minor cold or something. I've been eating a ton of cough drops. I got a few on standby already. So if I sound a little different or if I sound congested, that's why. And that's why I didn't stream on Monday, because it was hard enough just getting through the actual work day, and I was like I was barely functional by the end of it. And I got the standard where it's, as much as I like putting out a stream every week, and this counts for that, I'm planning to still do a stream on Sunday too, so it'll be 2 streams less than a week apart, hopefully. But, I also want to try to be able to, like, bring the energy, bring some... I keep looking at my webcam. If I've said before, I got OBS open on a second monitor, and then my webcam's on top of my first monitor here, so... Try just lowering my camera a little. Still working on the setup. It's all work in progress. Hopefully soonish. I'm gonna look into getting some like lighting, just some video production lighting, so I can have just like a light or two that gives me like the better, smoother YouTube streamer lighting. I can do some nice like bisexual, purple, pinky, blue looking shit. Because I mean, the bisexual lighting is the meme, but like the whole kind of like light purpley like lighting, like I like it. I like that aesthetic. I like the color purple. It's like a cute little kind of color tone to have on everything. But so. And that's just something where, I mean, I need to just buy the lights and set them. And it's not as the whole point of these streams is that I have some disposable income because I have a good job and no kids. So it's not like there's no like actual financial planning that goes into buying the lights. I'm not gonna go crazy and get like $1,000 lights or whatever. I think I've said before, but like I'm using a Yeti, that like blue Yeti microphone, which is a nice microphone. It's like, it's $200. So it's it's a legit microphone. Compared, like, or my webcam here is actually, I think my webcam was like $150. So it's actually pretty good video from the webcam. But, the mic in it is just whatever, okay. But it's one of those things where I know there's like $800. You can easily get an $800 microphone or a $1,000 camera. And those would look better, and like I could technically afford those, but that's one of those things where it's like I'll wait till I do episode 100. When I've done 100 streams of this, so like almost 2 years, then I'll consider whether the $500 mic and the $1,000 video camera is something that's worth giving a shit about. But until then, there's definitely no reason I can't get some, like, a $200 mood light film. I don't... Half the reason I haven't done it is just because it's like I don't know anything about the subject, so I'm going to be looking at Amazon like, I see, I don't understand what the fuck any of this is about. It's probably why I got the Blue Yeti, is just because it's like really popular, so it's the default, like, if you're willing to spend $200 on a good mic, just get the Blue Yeti, because I don't know. Well, what's a better mic at that price point? I don't fucking know. I have no idea. I don't even know who all the mic manufacturers and brands are. I don't care either, because I'm not an audiophile like that. I only have a decent mic because it just directly aids the streaming experience. But all that said, I actually had a little bit of just the tiniest description to the video. So first things first, I'm gonna just pull up GoFundMe and yeah, so I kind of came up with 2 topics for stream today because they were both on my mind, and I'm still like a little out of it, just with being, like I said, it was yesterday. I felt like just really out of it and tired. I went to bed like an hour earlier than I normally do, and maybe I did that, but I'm trying not to like push it too hard or anything, because I always think of certain topics. I mean, with a lot of these topics, it's like I could just go forever potentially on it, so gotta choose a stop at some point. But we'll get GoFundMe pulled up. And like I was saying, and there's a little something on my screen, so I'm just going to wipe that off. Because that's annoying when there's like a little water droplet on the screen, and it's like a kind of green-blue glowy spot because it like reflects all the light that's underneath it from the actual screen. And here's me like feeling a little congested. So yeah, again, like I probably sound a bit off, but whatever. I can clearly get through enough talking to do this. The whiskey cola probably doesn't help with the congestion, but it does help with the sadness in my brain at the state of the world, so... But yeah, there's 2 topics I was going to get into. There's I guess I'll just say them just before we do first donation, but it's going to be talking about the concept of immutable characteristics and what that actually means, and why, at least in the USA, but it's a lot of countries have laws relating to them, and just what that whole concept is. Because as an American, I've noticed a lot of my fellow Americans have no fucking idea what the fuck anything is. So, like, clearly some lessons are needed, and I mean, I know some shit about this, so evidently, I mean, if you know, I'm always of the opinion, if you know more about a subject than someone else, then you can teach them. It's like in martial arts class. If you're a green belt, then you can help a white belt. I mean, anyone can potentially help anybody, but it's like, hey, you don't got to be the black belt to help the white belt. It's good to have a black belt sometimes and somewhere, but there's no reason a green belt can't help all the little white belt students just get in a horse stance and do their punches. That's like, my grandma could coach a martial arts class through standing and punching. Some shit's not that complicated. And then the other topic is going to be, and I guess if you don't know about this, then that's, good for you. Honestly, good for you. This topic sucks. It's kind of shitty. But it's going to be about debates, internet debates versus YouTube video essays, versus, because they're in such a fucking pitched conflict with each other. So they're versus each other. because they're totally not just two complementary forms of content making. I'll get into all that. So, we're going to start things off with a donation, because, kind of just keep throwing the words out there. We'll boil down to some good thesis statements eventually, the more we do this. But, the Billionaires. And my fiance just came home, so saying hey to them. But Billionaires. They, by their title as Billionaires, have a lot of money. And money is a very useful, valuable resource. It's the value measurer of our modern world. The billionaires have a lot of money. And I view, in a way, it's like I view the money as potential. If you have the money, then you can potentially do the things that require that money. If you've got $100,000, you can potentially acquire a restaurant and become a restaurant owner, right? That's something you could do with $100,000. $100,000, you could also wipe away some people's medical bills, or you could, $100,000, you could give that all to some sort of charity, and then, or like a shelter, and then they could buy a bunch of food or medical supplies, right? And then you get on the level of the billionaires, billions of dollars, and in the case of some of our super billionaires, our king assholes, more than $100 billion for Gates and Bezos and Elon Musk, more than 100 billion. Sometimes, depending on the day, more than 200 billion for some of those twats. And it's just I'm throwing around a little bit of I'm throwing around the spare money I have on GoFundMe, because it does help people, and I'm trying to make a point, because we can see here, 100 million plus raised per year. Now that's wonderful, but again, Elon Musk has $200 billion. Elon Musk could knock that all out with literally a fraction of a percent of the money he has. So, just in my mind, if you do an analogy to get it just away from money directly a little bit, I mean, it really, to me, just feels like it's like you got a medieval kingdom, and the king has 1,000 barrels of potatoes in the royal pantry of the castle. He's got 1,000 barrels of potatoes. He's got enough potatoes that he can eat a potato for every meal, every day, for the next 10 years, and he'll have barely made a scratch in those potatoes. And then outside, you got people starving. You got people willing to steal and cheat and kill just to get a half dozen potatoes. And then here's me hey, what if we didn't do things this way and we improved society somewhat? If you know that comic, I am all on the what if we improved society even just a little bit. That could probably be good if things were a little bit better. I think that would be better. It's sometimes, it sounds obvious, but sometimes at least in America, the idea of improving things in any fucking way whatsoever seems to be a real wall for a lot of people. They've got a lot of excuses and defenses built up for why we can't possibly make any positive changes to our systems whatsoever. And that stuff is not helpful. Bit of a shit attitude, if I'm being frank. So, we're on the GoFundMe financial emergency tab, and let's take a look. Oh, okay. I mean, you know what? I see a car in a building. My attention has been roused. Okay. Castro Valley. So, Castro. It's I'm just because I was living in San Francisco, so I hear the Castro and I think about the Castro in San Francisco. But okay, no, this is on the other side of the bay. The Castro is I hope I'm not wrong. It's like historically kind of one of the famous like gay LGBT districts. The Castro, yeah, see, that's the Castro there. So that's the SF Castro. But that is, see, it's just a little area. It's really not even that big. But then you got like Haight-Ashbury and yada yada. San Francisco's a kind of weirdly laid out city just because of all the fucking hills and like giant parks. And I mean, literally, it's also just the hills. Some of these roads that don't make sense. It's because like, oh yeah, this is Twin Peaks. Like, yeah, this is a giant fucking hill there. Or what is it like? Oh yeah, or like Bernal Heights. You're seeing like, oh, that just whatever. Like, no, that's like 200. Like this area right here is 200 feet higher than this area. It's silly in San Francisco. But anyway, on Thursday, 9/15/22, the unimaginable happened when a car crashed into Trader Joe's in Castro Valley. Fortunately, at the time of the crash, Oz Ledesma and his two kids were paying at the cash register. Oz and his 5-year-old son were struck by the car and sustained injuries. Thankfully, Oz's 11-year-old daughter was unharmed and was just a witness to the event. And so Oz suffers injuries to both his legs, causing him to be immobile. His son also broke bones in his pelvis, shoulder, and hip, requiring surgery, placing 3 pins to stabilize his hip. In addition, he had severe tire burns to his thigh, which may require plastic surgery. As you can imagine, this trauma will require extensive physical therapy for the foreseeable future and may require additional surgeries in the months to come. This has been a nightmare for the sorry if I'm pronouncing the last name wrong, the Ledesma family. I decided to set up this GoFundMe to alleviate the financial burden this event has caused. America! Woo! Woo! You get injured, you get a financial burden, because go fuck yourself. Oh, you thought getting hit by a car was bad? Wait for the medical bills, motherfucker. We're playing on hard mode. This is the cool zone. It's like when you're in an anime and there's like crazy people all over the place with like different powers, and it's like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but instead of like people with cool abilities doing crazy shit, it's just money suckers just fucking killing us all to death in the most banal and boring goddamn ways possible. It's super awesome. He said sarcastically. Oz is currently in between jobs and doesn't know when he will be able to seek employment. Is now unable to accept employment offers. His wife doesn't know how and when she will return to work as she's caring for her husband and son. I've known the Ledesma family for over 20 years, and Oz is the type of man that will give you the shirt off his back. Let's pay it forward and help the Ledesmas during their time of need. And then we've got some pictures, so I'm guessing that's our Oz man and his 2 kids. Aw. Looks like they're at a restaurant. And then here, it looks like this is the son here, doing some Little League, getting a trophy. Oh, playing for the Red Wings, the little junior softball, baseball team, whatever it is when kids do it. So, yeah, these people seem like, I mean, obviously, hit by a car at the grocery. They were inside the grocery. Usually when people get hit by a car, they're not inside a building too. Like that's rough, man. You can't plan for that. And as always, I am entering my credit card info on the other page. And shut my door a bit. Sounds like my partner's on the treadmill, and the treadmill is a little bit noisy because it's a machine. So that should be all that. Yeah. Alright. Push it on the Facebook. Have that record. You look again here. Okay, yeah. There's me. There's me, and you know, there's a part of my paycheck. Oh, what is my autofocus? Autofocus was looking wonky there. All right. Good job by Anonymous, though. Anonymous with the top $1,000 donation. Oh, I bet Elon Musk can't donate $1,000 to this GoFundMe. I bet he won't because he's too weak and pathetic. All right, so with our first donation in, let's see, which of the two topics? Which of the two topics do I want to hit at? You know, we'll do the we'll do the YouTube bullshit first. So let me pull up YouTube. Right, I'm just subbed to a few channels, so I get a small amount of. YouTube has some reference points with my subscriptions there on what it should be recommending me, but yeah, okay, fuck, jeez, there is. Okay. What's the way to put this? I don't know how to be, like, I don't, being fully comprehensive would be, you know, a dozen hours of a thing. I'm going to try to keep this like 20, 30 minutes. Probably going to go way past that, but so I'm just going to try some basics. So, YouTube. Sure, we all know YouTube. Put videos up on there. You can watch the videos. It's kind of nifty, kind of cool. And since people are just uploading videos, you know, inevitably you end up with there being kind of certain like genres of videos. You know, certain kinds of videos or channels do well. They inspire people, or people see that there's like a demand for it, and they've got like a shared interest. So, you know, there's all kinds of genres on YouTube. And, you know, over all the years, over the more than a decade YouTube's existed, there's been like certain trends, sometimes based on like how the recommendations and the algorithms that recommend or put videos on the homepage, you know, sometimes that like prioritizes certain kinds or types of content. If you were on YouTube like over a decade ago, you might recall the trend where it was like Angry Video Game Nerd, AVGN, was one of, if not the biggest account on the site. And there was a whole trend of just all sorts of other like video game kind of review commentary channels that were in various ways inspired by or taking inspiration from the style of AVGN. And a lot of those never really caught on, and a lot of those, you know, just fell off at some point. Some of those developed into like their own things and gained a bit more of an identity over time, and are like still going strong today. So I'm not going to give specific examples because it's not an important thing. It's just, you know, side content there. But so one kind of type of video is what I guess we'll call the video essay. And so if you know from school, essays, to write an essay is a particular kind of writing. In my experience, it's one of the ones that in school you tend to engage in a lot of essay writing when you're doing essays. And, you know, we'll turn to Google just for a quickie definition of what an essay is. Just no reason to, no reason to just invent the definition when it's right there. So coming off of Oxford here, a short piece of writing on a particular subject, an attempt or effort, attempt or try. See what Wikipedia says. An essay is generally a piece of writing that gives the author's own argument, but the definition is vague, overlapping with those of a letter, a paper, an article, a pamphlet, and a short story. Essays have been subclassified as formal and informal. Look, that's an essay. Inside there, are the essays of Michel de Montaigne, who's apparently this guy. Fucking five-head, right? Lol, owned, you're dead, you died 500 years ago, haha, suck my dick. Stay mad, skeleton. Yeah, essays, there's even a whole YouTube thing here. Often it's not, yeah, you know, that's true. In university didn't have to do as much essays as high school. I appreciated that. But, so a video essay is basically, hey, let's take our essay, let's bring it to the medium of video. You know, we got visuals, we got access to sound. So instead of this just being like text on a blog or some sort of like book or booklet, or like a collection of essays that one could buy from a store or borrow from a library. It's okay. Let's make it a video, right? Kind of like a documentary as compared to, say, a textbook. So your video essay topic could be whatever the fuck you want. Level of seriousness and tone could be whatever you want. The presentation and the style can be whatever you want. It could be the most minimal. If it was just, if I was just reading out a script I had written and I just had the webcam on and I just like brought up some images, that'd be a real kind of like minimal effort kind of essay. You can do really heavily scripted and designed stuff, and so here we'll do some quick examples of just what do we mean by video essays, because video essays can be about anything. At some point, they were kind of a bit novel. I don't know when that was. At this point, it's just a type of content. The fact that something is an essay says nothing about its quality. Essays can be boring. They can be derivative. They can be uninteresting. They can be uninformative. They can just be wrong. People with spicy opinions sometimes make essays on the subjects, and they make the essay about their opinion, and their opinion is something kind of dumb and stupid, but you can make a video about that. It's just like any you can be a crazy crank and you can like have a blog where you write about how the world is flat and birds work for the CIA. You can just do that. But a good video essay though, just something, just a high quality one. So yeah, it's kind of like similar to like a documentary of some kind. It could be about a subject of great importance. It could just be about some sort of hobby interest. There's plenty of video essays about video games. I know for a fact because I'm into video games. That's my number one hobby. So I've seen a lot of video game related essays, and those can be good or bad. I've seen some of that were terrible to the point where it was actually it was at least funny to watch them because they were so poorly constructed. It was just kind of funny. There's ones that are long as shit and super in-depth and informative. But so, let's just give some examples. What am I talking about when I'm talking about video essays? I'm actually just really curious. I've always wondered what video essays to fall asleep to. Now that, I feel like that's a playlist that, what's the term? Bit of a backhanded compliment. My essay was added to the essays to fall asleep to. I'm curious though, what happens if you just look up? Okay, so I think these are just like some and just, let's see what. Star Wars, MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe, Miyazaki, the anime director from Ghibli. So, all right now we're seeing like a lot of media-related essays, which isn't too surprising. That's usually it's kind of in terms of like who is on YouTube looking for video essays, essays about media are like probably kind of the most popular because you know you could do an essay about like how Bluetooth works and that could be very interesting and relevant to some people. I could find that interesting because I deal with tech with work, but like you know you can make a video essay about anime movies and like not worry as much about how you're gonna like overload that's gonna be like overloaded with jargon or require like too much technical pre-knowledge to get into or you know to understand. Subnautica and the Terror of Absolute Freedom, and again so far I don't think I even recognize any of these channels. Why the Batman is so beautiful. The Death of Superheroes, a video essay. 7 days ago, 3.6K views. You know, it's a whole... Just anything can be a video essay. That's just my previously watched. These are not video essays. These are memes. Yeah, memes. Memes is the good word for those. The MCU has a joke problem. Video essay. The problem with female stand-up comedy. Video essay. Ah, looks like it might even be a video by a female. Yeah, whatever. Good. I'm not even. That could be a good video or not. I don't fucking know. That could be a great video. I don't know. We're not watching it. Not right now. Gabby Bell. I don't know you. But okay, that's just searching generically for video essay. So let me give some example here of some video essay channels I like. So this is just my personal preference. These aren't the only channels, obviously, but this is what I think of when I think of like good video essays, because these are. I usually take the view. I guess the stance I take with media, and I don't mean this any sort of way, but I figure when it comes to media, there's so much out there, and there's so much available that I try to just spend my time on the stuff I think is the best or like the greatest, because there's just so much of it. Like with video games, I spend enough time on video games that I can spare to like spend some time on like mid. You know, I'm just like kind of okay video games, good video games. Sometimes spend some time on a bad video game because, especially when you're a kid buying video games at GameStop with your allowance, you definitely end up picking up some stinkers before you learn that just because something is based on a franchise, oftentimes that can be a mark against its quality. Actually, oh, it's based off that show I've seen. Like, that's how you know it's going to be a piece of shit that was rushed out the door. Kid me had to learn some of those lessons $20 at a time the hard way. So, one channel that I brought up before, I think this might have been on like the first one I ever did, but I'd say Theremin Trees. Theremin Trees' videos, I'd say, are inarguably video essays. He has a topic. The main content is him speaking. He's got his own like custom visuals that all relate to the it's presented like it's like an informational, but it's also informative, and the visuals help like keep your focus and accentuate, right? We can see like the weaponizing self-affirmation. We have one person kind of being cowed by another person who's yelling to love me unconditionally. So, thumbnail, we got an idea about what the video is about. Weaponizing self-affirmation. And I could just bet that, and just me personally, I find these videos by this guy pretty informative, pretty helpful. I think they're good. And I talked about him in my first, but hey, let's do the example, right? We got time here. We got time. That's the nice thing about the streamer format. There's not a real like time because it's live. It's not, oh, let me edit it down. No, it's for live, bitch. Oh, can we say that on can I say bitch Colbert, or is that gonna, right, okay. And see, we're just gonna pick a random spot All right, it's I like the thing YouTube has now. They should have had it a while ago because I know it's not a complicated feature, but where you can split a video into like chapters and have that show up on the line. That's that's just useful for when you're like coming back to something and you want to be like, oh, I want to like find the part that was about X, and you can be like, oh, okay, this. Let's just watch it for 30 seconds. I'm not even gonna say anything. We'll just watch.
We ask if there are persistent patterns of controlling and coercive behavior that violate their freedoms and entitlements. Are there attempts to isolate them? Are their private communications monitored? Is their physical appearance dictated? Are their job opportunities sabotaged? Are their finances restricted? Are their resources exploited? Are shaming tactics used? Are there threats of violence? These are the factors that define abuse and incriminate individuals in law. As noted by the UK's Crown Prosecution Service, an official legal body that determines which cases make it to court, domestic abuse does not always have to be physical to be prosecuted. Sometimes, victims may not even be aware it's happening. Agreeing with our abusers that they're not responsible for our feelings doesn't in any way deny their accountability for what they do.
Okay, there. We'll pause. Saw some pretty like, what would be the word? Just like typical video essay there. We got a custom graphic. There were some, quotes of text being brought in, phased out. And we had our narrator, Theremin Trees, speaking, reading through the script that he has written and prepared for this specific video. And hey, we even got, I guess this would be something that's kind of beyond the topic of essays themselves, but if we see right where we have paused, he was bringing in a quote from a governmental institution, the UK courts, I think it was. And, he was bolstering his explanation of what kind of actions or things we look for to determine abuse with that quote from the government about abuse not having to always be physical. Like, okay, cool, good. Informative video. Good shit. All right, we're doing the quickie examples. So, someone else who I, of course, like, we all like, everyone likes ContraPoints. I like ContraPoints. Now, ContraPoints is going to be a bit kind of, I don't know. ContraPoints is definitely on the end of the scale for lots of like production and like costumes and set and lighting and a lot of like the extra bells and whistles and like nice little extra features that make a video essay really into its own kind of work of art in a way. Can elevate it really. Let's take the J.K. Rowling and we're just gonna skip. Yeah, you know what? Because I can see on the little preview. Let's go. What's going to happen here? We're just going to watch for 30, 40 seconds. What's the video?
Biggest ever increase in trans visibility. So it does make sense. And there's 11 million children in the UK. So let's say 5.5 million girls and 1,740 is 0.03% of that. And considering that around 1% of adults are some kind of transgender, 0.03% of kids is not really an alarming number to me. If anything, you'd expect it to be higher. But part of Joanne's problem here is that she seems not to really understand what being trans is.
The writings of young trans men reveal a group of notably sensitive and clever people. The more of their accounts of gender dysphoria I've read, with their insightful descriptions of anxiety, dissociation, eating disorders, self-harm and self-hatred, the more I've wondered whether if I'd been born 30 years later...
Boom. All right. That was 30 seconds there. I hear some organ. I think some organ music, like a cello, some kind of classical music. We got highlighted quotes being read by another individual. So I think there's probably friends or associates of Miss ContraPoints, having their little kind of cameo in the video, reading a quote. And as we saw here, too, at this moment in the video, ContraPoints herself is sitting in a bathtub surrounded by candles and rose petals. And I think that's the pen name J.K. Rowling uses, so that's some other J.K. Rowling. So it's like there's a whole little crafted thing here, and it's like, hey, the whole video doesn't take place. I mean, I guess a lot of the video does take place in the bathtub, but then we come back and we're like,
racism.
we're not in the
And
bathtub.
that I will.
Like, this is all. There's a set here. I think ContraPoint's mostly like films these at her house. I think for the most part. So this is like. This is probably her living room, which means that she is setting shit up in her living room to film, and like her living room can't function as a normal living room when she's got all this going on in it. So that's like A plus for the production. Okay, I think I hit the 1 key, so that's what brought me there. You can see the video essay, the kind of probably one of the most fundamental things is just the reading of the script. We heard ContraPoints there. There's a script. She's reading it. It's like, for a lot of video essays, if you just took the script itself, it would, to some extent, still function just as like a text video essay. I say to some extent, because since you've got the medium of sound and visuals to add on to it, obviously it's possible that those can be like very essential. But it's also just, the strength of the script on its own can also be an important like quality. It's like it's like the spine. The script of the essay is kind of like the spine, and if the spine is weak, then all the pretty effects and visuals aren't gonna really matter too much. It's like putting really nice garnishes on a mediocre steak. It can only do so much.
My body is not the same as a cis woman's body. That sex is real. You will never be a woman, Nathan. Every cell in your body is male and has a Y chromosome. Really? That's crazy. How'd you learn so much about science? I don't really feel that.
And saw a little bit of humor there. ContraPoint's quipping a bit at her, at her opposition that she's presenting. Yeah, all right. Video essay. Good shit. Fucking congestion. And let's pick. Let's pick someone else who do like their own video content a lot. Let's pick Mahler. So the show I said on EFAP, which is the other show he does. I'm not going to talk about EFAP. They have people on as guests sometimes who are people I really, really don't like and disagree with, and I consider it unfortunate. But they also have on like plenty of people who are fine and cool and seem fine and cool, like JXC and like cynical reviews seem like perfectly nice people. And Mahler himself, I'll just this ain't the Mahler thing, but I'm just as like kind of a bit of just a different figure here. I actually do like, in terms like the video essays, I actually really like Mahler's video essays a lot. I like his I like his extremely high attention to like detail and aspects of analyzing like plot and writing. He has the reputation for being the long man, as you can see by the several hours of critiquing Star Wars The Force Awakens. And yeah, let's see, let's pick. Right, we'll just do the same 30 seconds. And this will be the kind of more of the, what I was saying is pretty common, is like the media review, the media critique. So Mahler's essays here are mostly about movies and also about video games. I don't know if there's any TV shows in here. I guess Game of Thrones, so that'd be a TV show. But let's see, Zack Snyder's Justice League, an unbridled rampage. Let's click it. Let's pick a random chunk in the middle. So what it looks like with this, we're going to get the not too surprising choice of he's probably going to make a lot of use of clips and like screenshots from the film. With YouTube, copyright can be a real can be a real crapshoot with dealing with copyright claims and copyright strikes. So sometimes people, they're not allowed to just present like scenes as clearly as they would like to just be able to friggin' discuss them. I think Mahler usually manages to. He talks about like every single thing that happens in the movie, so it's like he gets to eventually show the scene for whatever it is he's talking about. Let's just, we'll give it the same 30-second test here.
Then that half-breed is your king.
They don't do these weird fish noises. Are you aware that only the royal-blooded people can survive out of water? That the normies and the guards, they have to have suits to survive. You seem to forget this for the entire scene of pulling Atlanteans out of the ocean, showing the entire drag, the drop, the interrogation that was already set up by Willem Dafoe.
Guards near the stronghold have been disappearing. Snatchers from above.
Talk to King Orm.
Yet you show it, and you show the questions Steppenwolf asks, then throwing the dude about, then using a spider to get the answers he wants. After splitting his skull. Steppenwolf is a smart boy. So you already had a scene set for why Steppenwolf could get to the mother boxes. They call to him. You've shown he can teleport in, so that's fine.
Alright, there we go. So we get a bit of a contrast here, say the ContraPoints, where, say that, in terms of like set design and production, Mahler's kind of like not applicable because he's using just all these shots from the movie. But that's also fine. It's like, in a way, I'd say it's kind of like Mahler's close to the more kind of like traditional video essay format of he has a script and the visuals here are all just a complement to the script. And I think it seems pretty fitting. He's talking about a movie, so all his background visuals are of the movie. And I'll say my experience, it means that, like, even though I haven't ever actually seen Zack Snyder's Justice League, because it sounds like shit from everything I've heard about it. I've heard plenty of things and read things that talk about it and make fun of it. But, yeah, I feel like it's like there's a useful thing where because this whole video is just chock full of shots and clips and moments from the movie, that even if you haven't seen the movie, it's like you don't have to have. You can. He's just showing you the shit from the movie he's talking about. If he talks about how a visual effect looks bad or weird, he shows it to you. When he was talking about that there is an inconsistency in whether the Atlanteans can breathe out of water or not, he showed the contrast. We had the scene where the one person had their thing ripped out, and then they had to go shove their head in the toilet because they couldn't breathe. But then we have the scene where Steppenwolf, God, that's a weird name for an alien. All right, we'll call him 2004 Nvidia video card box art guy. He's the villain. We won't call him that because that's too long. But if you've ever seen video cards in a store for sale, damn, it's like I said, my freaking congestion. I feel it. It's like phlegm in my throat. It makes me want to like stop talking for a second. Like, eh. But so, he's got a script. He's reading through it, and he's got all the like. So I guess I was going to say that while it's like the aspect of set design is kind of not applicable to what Mahler's doing, say aspects of like editing, the editing of the video, having the moments from the film appropriately chosen and timed and sequenced out to match and go with his argument. Like that's like an editing aspect that I would say does like a pretty good job of. So that's 3 examples of video essays. So I was going to talk about others. Okay, yeah, oh, jeez, well. All right, I guess quick break for the moment because I need to go to the bathroom. All right, I'm back. You know, I might edit the title of this stream, and I think I might hold off on the immutable characteristics for next stream, because I'm seeing how long these topics take, and the fact that I'm still a little bit under the weather, so I can't do like a 3-hour stream. It's gonna just fuck me up too much. I'm just gonna be too goddamn tired, because it's already, you can see the time. I don't hide my time or date. I don't know why that's always such a big deal. Oh, the video's like, it has a date. It happened on a day. This is happening on September 27th, 2022. It's currently about 7:30 where I am at in Chicago. Like, I don't see why that's a big deal. Who gives a fuck? But so we got some examples of video essays there from video essayists I like. So let's do a quick hop back onto GoFundMe. Get another something on my screen. Get that off. All right, let's hop back on the GoFundMe. Get another donation in. Let's do the C more so we can get the big. Alright, let's see what this one's about. Hi, my name is Scooby and I'm fundraising for Barbara Keaty, A-Day, the village snipper. Barbara took a tumble a couple of weeks ago, falling from her outside deck onto paving stones. She broke her tibia in 2 places and her fibula in 4, so those are bones. Besides that, she injured 3 of the 4 sides of her ankle box. She is in good spirits, but is now focused on healing, which will take 2 or 3 months. Obviously, she can't work, but at the same time, she is obligated to pay rent on her shop as well as her home. So this fundraiser is to help Barbara pay her rent and other basic expenses while she is healing and without income. Capitalist innovation right there. But man, it's like I keep thinking that some of these like GoFundMes may be as a result of problematic and unresolved issues within the capitalist economic model. But yeah, let's help Barbara out. I mean, shit. that ain't. That don't sound fun. That sounds like just a real shit fuck of a time. So let's give Barbara 50. $50 to keep the landlords at bay. Because, I mean, if the landlord doesn't get paid, then someone else would have to become the owner of the property or whatever. You know, this ain't going to be the landlord stream, but I don't know. It's hard for me not to notice the fact that, like, if Thanos, Marvel movie reference, but yeah, if Thanos did his snap, and his snap was for all the landlords, we wouldn't lose any actual housing. All the buildings would still be there, which really raises a question as to what exactly it is the landlord adds to the situation. Okay, and we'll push it on the Facebook. Boy, I hope my landlord doesn't see this stream. Alright, there we are. We're in there. Okay, so I'm on the spectrum, man. I gotta just be explicit and detailed. All right, no stones unturned here. So talked about video essays. show just some random examples, just so you know where I'm coming from. What does Alex think of? What does Alex mean when he thinks of good video essays? And you know, this ain't the full extent of it. This is my Billionaire Buster YouTube account. As you saw, I'm only subscribed to like 5 people at the moment on here. All right. Yep. H Bomber Guy. Yeah, I like H Bomber Guy's videos. They're good. They're funny. The vaccine one was really good because I didn't know all the details about what a just piece of shit Andrew Wakefield is. Oh man, just someone needs to smack the lollipop out of his mouth. By Jove. Yeah, and then there's stuff where I'd say there's some things where a video essay can kind of blend in with like other kind of genres, or it's a bit, you know, genres are subjective. You know, is it a rock band or a hard rock band? Who the fuck knows? I mean, is Linkin Park a rap band? I mean, they rap on a lot of their songs, but you know, genres. It's subjective. You know, it's a fucking flavor guide. You know, I can think of someone like Mandalore Gaming, who I like a lot, and like Mandalore Gaming, he mostly titles them as like reviews, and they are but like a review then is a kind of essay. I mean, the way you structure a review is, there's plenty of overlap with a review and an essay. And then just because he's making them as YouTube videos and he's making them about video games, you know, there's a lot of the essay structure is there. He's got a script, he's reading it out, he has footage, you know, he has relevant footage collected from his own play to show things. Yeah, we can take the 30-second look at somewhere
in the game, and the entrance is hidden behind a secret wall. The second you step in, there's a big drop-off and a few enemies littered around. If you wipe out the dudes next to the little ledge and then jump onto it to get to the shield recharger, there are even more guys to throw things at you. If you wipe these guys out, you'll see further down there's one of Marathon's rare invincibility power-ups. So you jump down here, and you're trapped. There's a second power-up in the corner too, but there's no danger anymore. You might reload a save and search the level for a hidden button.
You know, last example I'll give where another person who's kind of I really like, and this is stretching. See, this I think we're more stretching the meaning of the video essay when we're looking at Sezeth. Because I'd say Sezeth's videos have definitely more of like a comedy focus. They're more meant to be just like a funny, entertaining video in their own right. But nonetheless, they do have a script. He is generally talking about like a specific game. And as much as he's making jokes, he is also like sharing his thoughts and opinions. And there's been plenty of examples. I've personally been in one where a Sezeth video about a game, as you can see, he's got over 1 million subscribers and his videos tend to get over 1 million views. That sometimes he does a video on some kind of small indie game and it gets like a massive sales boost because of the video. So one example is there was a game, I'll just pull it up specifically. There was a game called Synthetic, which I bought because of Sezeth's videos, because I had never heard of it before, and it looked fucking awesome and right up my alley. And I bought it, and I've played it a little bit, not as much as I like, because it looks like a friggin' awesome game, and I got too much other stuff I'm playing, but like, I bought this game because of him, and now there's like, in some update, I think the developers added an item or something to the game that's like a reference to Sezeth explicitly, because like at least like a third of the game's sales happened like because of his video coming out. And you know, we'll just take a look in the middle of here. Like, there's that YouTube says this bit is a popular bit to replay, so let's watch.
To your survival, but more importantly, to your credibility as a gamer. Yes, it's true. I might have not helped in any team fights and just spent my time camping corners, but you know what else is true? I've collected significantly more dog tags than my partner over here. So who truly is to blame for our untimely demise? It certainly isn't me. Heavy Gunner is a slow-moving 3D printer on legs. If you enjoy cruising through levels at breakneck speeds that make mobility scooters, pensioners, and children born on landmines seem fast in comparison, then you'll love the Heavy Gunner. Conversely, Engineer is a class for the insane and the unhinged. It's also one of the most interesting. The very essence and strength of the engine.
Alright, so as you can see there, definitely a bit more of a comedy focus, but it's also kind of like structured as a review. I mean, literally review, so it's a kind of review. He was running down the different classes you can play as and giving his thoughts on them. You can also see that it's not just like editing of presentation of clips, but that there's also a lot of, like with the zooms or color grading or inserting other stuff as like inserting things from like another image or another video as like an overlay, you know, the dude dabbing over the gameplay foot. That's like all an aspect of editing, and it makes the video denser. Oh, and actually, just another example of a game I bought because it says it, and I actually have played a lot of, is Endless Space 2. I bought this game because it says
A giant bat that likes to eat zucchini. How is she qualified in any way to be my senator? I don't know. But the people love her. And who am I?
And yeah, Endless Space 2, actually a really good game if you like 4X games, and if you've ever enjoyed playing like a Civilization game, this could probably be right up your alley. And 5 million views on that, so damn. So, video essays, that's what they are. Some of the people I like who do video essays. Let's make sure, okay, yeah, the stream's up, the stream's working. Are we Billionaire playing like a Civilization game? This could probably be right up your alley. And don't want to get too Inception-y there where I'm watching it, or I'm watching my stream on my stream. So, another type of content that exists on YouTube and in many spaces, and what I think I alluded to at the start of the video, is debates. Now, I'll say, I think compared to video essays, debates would definitely be a more niche kind of thing. Like video essays, debates can be basically about any topic, but inherently, I think for, I mean, debate itself, debate's a pretty ancient concept. We won't, actually, fuck it. We will pull up the Wikipedia and just very briefly say what Wikipedia says about what a debate is. But, they can be formal or informal. They can be between two teams of people. They can be on a very specific subject. They can be on something broad. They can be held in front of a live audience. They can be held in a private setting amongst a close-knit, group bound by like a common purpose. So a debate. What's Wikipedia say? Apparently this page has some fucking problems. Since 2009. Alright. Debate is a process that involves formal discourse on a particular topic, often including a moderator and audience. In a debate, arguments are put forward for often opposing viewpoints. Debates have historically occurred in public meetings, academic institutions, debate halls, coffee houses, competitions, and legislative assemblies. Debate has also been conducted for educational and recreational purposes, usually associated with educational establishments and debating societies. These debates put an emphasis upon logical consistency, factual accuracy, and emotional appeal to the audience. Citation needed. Modern forms of competitive debate also include rules for participants to discuss and decide upon the framework of the debate, parentheses, how the debate will be judged. Here is a 13th century illustration of a Jew and a Christian debating. So it's like two guys, and they're arguing about... So debate. I mean, a debate is basically an argument, and it's meant to be, a bit structured, and not about yelling, not about threats of violence, not about, trying to force your will just on the other person. a debate is meant to be, to some extent, it's why do people end up in debates? I mean, we can see there that it's about where debates happen, that, there's a lot of focus on, like, academic institutions, public meetings, that would be, like, town halls, legislative assemblies. So, debates, a lot of debate is kind of about making an argument, having opposition to that argument present, with the idea that it's like you both get to make your argument, and there's some kind of audience that is interested in the topic. And, if the audience, people in the audience, they could be more on one side of the debate or the other beforehand. They could have their minds changed in some way by the information presented or by the performance. People who are less informed or a bit more neutral can potentially be swayed. And that's where it's like kind of, it's the appeal to all, it's like, I think kind of part of the reason that, like, debates continue to exist as a thing is it's the idea that if you're confident, if you believe in yourself, if you believe in the arguments you're making for a debate, then you'll be willing to take the risk of a debate, because and then that's what draws in the audience, because it's with a debate you've got, at simplest, you've got two sides that disagree and are arguing with each other. And that means that there's a risk. There's a risk there of what if the other person makes a good point and I don't have something for it, or it's a point I haven't heard or thought about before. That's going to make my argument look worse to the audience, which means that, because a lot of debates, this is also why a lot of debates end up being about political topics when they're public debates. There's this element of I think it's just kind of like that. It's like there's something on the line that you don't want to look bad for your cause. You want to look good for your cause. You want to hopefully potentially make the other person's argument look bad. And from the audience perspective, there's an appeal here because this is to compare to a video essay. A big contrast that in the video essayist has full control. They can present things however they like. And while none of the people who I was showing before and who I like do this, but it's possible, it's very obviously possible to be disingenuous with how you present or frame opposition in a video essay, because you're just making it yourself. It's you can make a straw man. You can make a straw man of an opposing position, and there's no one there in the video who can stop you from doing it. Whereas in a debate, and this is something that the audience recognizes, it's and nothing's perfect, but it's the fact that there's two sides arguing with each other with an audience that they're to some extent performing for. So it's like the court system in America, I think, has kind of a lot of elements of this, where you have the prosecution and the defense, and they're in the courtroom at the same time, and they're both sitting on one side of the court, and the judge is at the head of the court looking at them, and the prosecution and the defense are both making their arguments to the jury. They're explicitly in an oppositional position to each other. The prosecution wants to get the guilty verdict, and the defense wants to get the not guilty verdict, and they're both going to do their best to present their case. So I'm sure I'm not the first person to mention, I've got a little something on my glasses, so I'm sure I'm not the first person to mention that there's an overlap or some commonality in the realm of debate and how we literally come to criminal verdicts in court trials. And now, so in this obviously, this marks debates, and if you're doing, you can imagine that we literally got one right here. Video debates, it's, if I just had someone else who, I got in a Discord call with, and then I was arguing with them while streaming, then, we'd be debating, it'd be on the stream, people who are interested in either me or the other person or in the topic could come and listen, see what the arguments are, leave comments, argue in the comments, use it as like a reference point or something to like build their own arguments and understanding on. You know, I think this is probably not surprising because I'm a little small bean autist that I find debate content can be interesting. I say can because it's just same with video essays. I mean, if it's a debate on a topic I don't care about, or if it's a debate on a topic where I have a strong opinion that like isn't represented by either side, it's all, there's a million video essays about TV shows I don't care about, and so I probably don't watch those video essays. It's the same with debates. If there's a debate, and I'm sure there is, but there's a debate between like a Christian pastor and a Muslim imam, me as someone who doesn't follow either of those religions, it's like, I don't really fucking care what they get into with each other. It's all bullshit to me. So I'm trying to think of where I want to just go with it, because this is all going to be kind of, I think this whole stream today is just kind of be more general overview and setup, or just if you don't know, here's the info and here's where I'm coming from. Because as it's known, I'm a fan of Vosh. I'm subscribed to Vosh, and Mr. Ian, Big Fat Ian, the Kharkiv Kid Finder himself. He does a lot of debates, and some people have very strong feelings and opinions and vibes. Maybe some of them even have thoughts, not about the content of those debates, but seemingly just the fact that a debate is occurring is quite the conundrum to some folk. But that'll probably more be like a follow-up stream, maybe next week or the week after, where I'll get more into the mud on that one, because it turns into a real shit fest real quickly sometimes, and I'm not always happy about that. It's not always all that great for everyone involved, and yet it happens. But let's do like I did for the video essays. Let's do some examples of debate content. So this will be stuff I'm familiar with. We'll just do some quick 30-second looks. And I'll just say it's like, the whole thing where, debate, it's a bit subjective, what counts as a debate or not, and there's degrees of formality. You can have a debate without a moderator, where it's just two people and you're basically just trying to have a polite and productive argument. It's just one of those things. I mean, you're arguing for your point, you're trying to make your best case, you're trying to put your best foot forward, because you're probably like passionate about the topic being debated in some way. And so there's all sorts of routes you can take. Some people take a route in debates where they don't focus so much on like the actual logic of the positions, but they focus more on making like emotional appeals to the audience to try to win them over, and that's not inherently a bad thing. I mean, I'm in my streams, I'm pretty sure I've made plenty of emotional appeals when I'm, looking at all the friggin' suffering and like help and desperation on GoFundMe. I can build up to my logical appeal about like a society that takes better care of people would be more stable, and like it'd be better to live in that society because you'd have less to worry about, because if people are like being taken care of and having their needs met, then that removes a lot of the like causes of like violent or like criminal behavior that any of us could be a victim of. So, but I also just do like the like yeah, I also just do the emotional, like, oh, he got hurt, and now, besides his medical costs, he also can't work for a while. Thanks, capitalism. Way to kick a man when he's down, like you always do, right? That's more emotional appeal. I'm doing both. I'm also not debating technically right now, but yeah, let's show though. Let's do some quick examples. So, someone I personally like and have a pretty good amount of respect for as a guy, called Matt Dillahunty. He's an atheist. He's apparently, I guess he had some eye troubles recently, and he has become punished Matt. Ah, God, what would the subtitle be? Punished Matt, a debater without a god. Whatever the fuck Kojima. Someone ask Kojima. All right, go ask Kojima on Twitter what his like epitaph would be. But so Matt Dillahunty, he's an atheist. He's on a show called The Atheist Experience, which has been running for well over a decade, and that's like a call-in show. So they'll discuss topics, they'll have guests on, and they'll also just have like random. You can just, it's a call-in show. You can just call in, and you just get placed in like a queue, and then people come up and they ask their questions. Oftentimes it's Matt on. There's usually at least 2 people on, and half the time it's not Matt. They've got a whole host of other people. So those are all kind of like informal debates, because it's like it's on The Atheist Experience. It's like it's their show. They control the mic. They can mute and hang up on someone if they, just when they think it's best. But Matt himself, he also does a lot of like just one-on-one, more like official, like moderated debates. He does debates with a moderator, like with an audience at some sort of venue as like a preset thing. So we'll give an example of that, where I'll our favorite woke moralists, where Matt Dillahunty and Jordan Peterson had a debate 4 years ago. And I remember, I had a low opinion of Jordan Peterson at the time, and they had a discussion about religion, and we'll just look at a 30-second, maybe 60, maybe I'll hop around a little bit because it's a debate, so this one's a bit structured. People are like speaking in blocks of time. But I think, God, sorry, the fucking congestion. I recall from this, my opinion of Jordan Peterson was not at all elevated by listening to him talk to Matt Dillahunty. Matt put on he tied in the exact kind of screws I would have bet money that he would have twisted on, and it was like a pretty like kind of clean textbook debate, I think, from Matt's end. And I don't like Jordan Peterson. He's forgive my hubris, but I'm smart enough that I can tell that Jordan Peterson isn't really that fucking smart, because like I'm smarter than he is. So like, I don't know, people are so impressed with his intellect, and it's like, why? He's not that fucking smart. Like, if that's impressive to you, like, damn, should I write a self-help book? Because apparently I could just blow these motherfuckers' brain stems out. I'm gonna... Or can I... Okay, yeah, okay, I have all this. We'll watch like 20 seconds of one spot and 20 seconds of... It's a debate, it's not gonna... But you gotta show the form. I did the same for video essays. Let's see here. It's gonna be 2 guys in chairs on a stage. Like, all right, pretty classic.
So I don't know that I have that much of an issue with anything in particular that you've said. There's a number of different ways to frame these things so that people can have a better grasp on it. One of the things I know people struggle with is, and we may have to get back to this in a minute. I don't necessarily want to dig in on it just a second, but I would love to talk about it. This idea that absent a God, there's no moral authority. This is a fear that many people have. And when you're talking about viewing consciousness as the way you describe consciousness is what I would probably call our agency.
Okay.
And while I don't think that we have libertarian free will, I'm...
Oh, I just find
on
a bit
record as being
like
a
Jordan
compatibilist
speaking
of-
for
All
contrast.
right, thank you. I guess this question's mostly for Jordan Peter. Like God still...
I don't think I know how to answer that. It's just, the situation is too hypothetical. I mean, I can take a crack at some of it, but so
I did not intend to pick him floundering. I actually wasn't intending that.
The subjective description of that, which may be because of limitations in language, that they don't have any other. This is the language that infuses culture, so that we have to use that to describe it. But that doesn't in any way serve to confirm that there is any sort of supernatural realm or any sort of supernatural actor.
well, it depends on how you define supernatural. Like, look, I get your point.
Okay.
And I'm not claiming that the phenomena of psilocybin intoxication is direct.
All right, just we got a little taste there. Let's notice, things are. It's pretty respectful. We got two gents. They're wearing suits. They're on a stage. They're within striking distance of one another, and yet they choose to use only their words and their rhetoric. How scholarly. I tip my hat to these gentle sirs. But as we also saw too, from there's an audience. There's evidently like a audience question portion, and we got some back and forth. They're not just inherently like strictly. It depends on the format of the debate, right? But it's like, to me, it's not. It's a little hard to know where to go sometimes with explaining this, because to me it's not hard to see what like the value of this kind of thing is. And so what I'd say, let's take a quickie look. I know I didn't do this for the video essays. I didn't think of it. I don't think it would have. It's really relevant to the points there. But I want let's just take a quick skim through some of the comments, because that's the thing where it's the debate. It's not just you sit here and you learn from the debate, and thus you are. Because a video essay is structured and has like a script and has some kind of like thesis and conclusion it's building to. So there's like kind of a there's an overlap with like how a lecture, like an academic lecture, would function, where you're meant to be like getting somewhere to some extent. A debate is definitely a bit more of like a scuffle, a fight, a joust. A dirty knuckle down alley fight behind the bar. Right, fuck it, it doesn't matter. But the point of the debate is, the reason the individuals would participate in the debate is, for the most part, there's elements of like self-promotion, or like promoting your brand, or not wanting to look like a bit of a coward. That's where I think we saw the Dennis Prager, Anna Kasparian. We didn't look, but we saw the thumbnail there, where I haven't seen that, but from what I know, I know that apparently at some point Anna called out Dennis, that Dennis Prager makes a claim about how political left-leaning people are like afraid of or refuse to debate, which is literally not true. And I'm guessing it seems like Anna brought up a bunch of examples of political left-leaning people who responded to Prager's claim that there were no leftists who would debate him with the fact that there were all these leftists who offered that they would debate him, and then he never fucking debated any of them. So, I mean, I personally think Dennis Prager is a total cuck piece of shit, and I would do more than smack the lollipop out of his bitch mouth if I had such a gracious opportunity presented. I mean, Dennis Prager, I feel like if I like blew hard enough in Dennis Prager's direction, he would like Thanos snap, just like dust blow away, because he's just such a fucking old, like, just an old zomboid of what's supposed to be a human. God, I am the fucking congestion. We're getting near the end of the stream. But let's take a quick skim at the comments. So this is from like 4 years ago, 2018, so a little over 4 years ago. And let's just take a quickie skim. All right, just comments. Winter Hayden says, "This is the first time I've come across Matt Dillahunty. His relaxed macro view is refreshing. He's a good representation of an atheist mindset, not pretending to know things, but open to what is reasonable and grounded. Not an ego of absolutes or wishy-washy abstractions or philosophy or outdated stories. Just a normal person, living the best they can." Okay, that's a takeaway someone had. There's 175 replies under this. We will take a glance. We are not going to read them, because if you have experience with YouTube, you know if there's 175 replies under a comment like this, it at some point that comment chain is going to become extremely retarded. Probably because of one person being a fucking retard, and then like 20 other people all responding to their retardation. Not really. People have prodded him far enough to discover he still maintains sacred cows, namely found in his politics, something that is more complicated than the child's play of finding inconsistencies in texts like the Bible. Matt really isn't that smart. Rather, his just mostly earned his fame during the heyday of when atheism gained greater popularity in culture. Basically, he popped his head up at the right time to grab that kind of attention, while greater atheist thinkers paved his way. Personally, I don't agree with that, but we can see someone then in response to say to that, where it's YouTube comments, so people get back and forth snipey. Go watch some more alpha male motivational videos. Ugh! Owned. Wrecked. Marketplace of ideas flooded. Insurance not going to cover the damage. Right, so fuck it, next one. Matt absolutely blew my mind again. Thrilled to have stumbled upon this discussion by accident. Oh, neat. Seems like this person personally got something out of their experience of watching the video. Blew your mind. He actually proved there is a God without knowing he said so with his chess computer argument. He has no idea where his examples lead to. In this debate, he told the entire world, there is a God, space, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. I made a point of the grammar at the end because I don't respect this person, and I wasn't able to, I was either not able to or not willing to hide my contempt for this jagoff. Also, actually, interesting too, this comment's from 5 months ago, so this is more like recent. So this is, it's a 4-year-old video, but 4 years after it came out, about, if that's 5 months ago, like, someone watched this and, like, they seem to have been, like, intellectually enriched or stimulated in some way. And I just think that's pretty neat. Okay, I should sip some water. And, okay, I don't know if it's gonna make me sound a lot worse. I mean, I probably won't, but I'm gonna put a cough drop in my mouth just because I feel like I'm losing the battle. I'm losing the battle against whatever the hell is going up with my sinuses, and I don't want to just start hacking. Oh, but let's see, because this will be interesting. Well, so our first poster here is Tats. Our second person here is Brandon. But it looks like, they back and forth a little, so let's, let's take a look. So, so Tats said his thing. Joe said that. He said what he said, and he said it. That's what I'll say. Oh, but Tats responded. Nope. Wrong. Not Matt. Neither Peterson can prove God's existence. Not even you or the computer chess. Computer chess is not proof of a god, mate. Checkmate, theist. But Dark Joe responded, Matt says we are like the computer chess game. Ellipse. The computer chess game is given the rules and how to play chess, and then it figures out how to play and win. He says we are like that. We live life, and we figure out what is moral and what isn't. These are his words, not mine. So with these words, he is saying we have a creator and a designer and someone who feeds us the rules. The computer did not create itself, and it doesn't know the game or rules on its own. It needed a creator, a mind behind it, to play the game and figure out how to win. All these guys, without knowing, just prove God over and over again. I disagree, but hey, these aren't my YouTube comments. Oh, here's Charon. Charon? Makes me think it's like the boatman. The boatman in the Greek mythology for the river Styx. Charon? Charon? It's an old word. There's a lot of ways they can be spelled ultimately. At Joe, I think he missed the part where he said the computer experiments to win. In this specific example, experimenting would be analogous to evolution. Over time, we have adapted in response to the rules and gotten better at, quote, winning the game, end quote. Although we don't exactly know how the rules were put into place, evolution points in the opposite direction of God. Dun, 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 dun. And we'll leave them there. This person's comment is a fictional summary. Matt says, water is wet. And then Jordan says, aha, so much for skepticism, eh? Knowing what I know about the individuals involved here, true. Every time, 1 month ago, to this day, even in 2022, some fucking debate between two old, white, cis men who are Western, and yeah, it's affecting people? Whoa, crazy. Every time Jordan speaks, it comes off as a filibuster. Word salad. Meanwhile, Matt is direct and straight to the point. Easier to defend something you actually believe rather than have to make it up on the spot. Alright, now it's already known from that, the up yours, welcome Oralist, that I don't care for the JP stir. So we'll leave off at the comments there. Let's do one more example of a debate, and then I'll make a last donation, and that can be this week's stream, because I'm clearly fucking losing my battle against whatever cold I have. So, I'm going to avoid Vosh. I like Vosh, but I'm going to avoid the example of a Vosh debate. And let's do... Alright, let's see. Now the whole thing with cowering Crowder... Oh no, Sam Cedar, what a fucking nightmare. I love that. As someone who does have an interest in debate content and the politics and the yada yada, that whole thing is just... I mean, he said that. He said, oh no, Sam Cedar, what a fucking nightmare, on his own show, live. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. Pathetic. I would pity him if he weren't such a shit. I'll pull up for after. I'll pull up. We can see some quickie meme of that. If I talk about that at some point, it'll be there, because that's just a whole fun thing to get into. Sam Cedar. What a nightmare. Okay, but Sam Cedar, he's another white Western cis male. Some crimes can never be forgiven. And he's got a show called The Majority Report. They talk about like news and current events and politics. They do interviews. He has some like co-hosts. Michael Brooks was, before his passing, one of like kind of the co-hosts on the show. Michael Brooks seems like, from everything I know about and have seen from him, he seemed like a really like cool, good guy. So it sucked when he suddenly passed away. But Sam's like middle-aged guy. He's got some experience in like Hollywood and like TV and film a bit. I think it's like there's a character on the animated show Bob's Burgers that Sam Cedar is the voice of. And I think he was doing some kind of like radio political show. And so he's been like a leftist and a progressive, and he's been doing like content of that ilk for a while, and he was doing it at times when there was like really, really not any of that. So in general, I've got respect for Sam Cedar. I've never seen or been given any reason to like not like the guy. And Sam has a habit, I guess I'll say, where Sam will get into debates with people. He'll do one-on-one debates. And from what I know, the meme with him is he has like a tendency for debating libertarians and like right-wing, get my hand in the webcam view, like right-wing libertarians, so more like ANCAPs, Ayn Rand types, and if I find let's find a little bit of just something where it's a little juicy, because if I'm recalling with that, it's Sam has like no patience for it, and he doesn't. I guess it's I can understand this ain't a knock for it. It's mostly funny. Sam has no pretense of niceness or respect when he's talking to right-wing capitalist libertarians. He will just be fucking mean to them, and I'm all for it. It's usually they shoot themselves in the foot, and then Sam will graciously spit in the bullet wound they gave themselves, because right-wing libertarian arguments are like universally pretty dog shit. Can I just find like a moment of him just like asking a libertarian about roads and like how will roads be handled in your libertarian society? And like they just get, I just recall them just getting really, really fucking mad that he would ask them about it, and it's like, I don't know, dude. There's a road outside my house. You should probably have an answer. So okay. Let's take a look. Where's our highlights? Okay, let's watch for like this is them looking at a debate. So, okay, let's find Sam debating like about roads. Hey, fuck it, fine. We'll just pick. Alright, so it's a 15-minute video. Seems like it's someone, the last true libertarian. Let's look at her. Sam debates a self-identifying true libertarian. It doesn't go the way you might expect. Oh, should I be worried? Because my expectations are... But we see YouTube. YouTube is highlighting a moment here. Let's just watch for a minute. Let's see what happens. So Sam and then one of his co-hosts. I don't know their name, unfortunately. I don't actively watch Sam, actually. I think he makes good content. It's like it's just only so many hours in the day, man. Like fuck.
Yeah, we're not talking about enfranchisement. We're talking about private property. Like, I mean, wouldn't every claim to private property in this country be suspect, or at least much of it, because it was it was not legitimate on day one?
Yes.
Okay, and all right. I mean, this is good. I'm not convinced that I think there's a lot of libertarians who would take issue with everything you're saying, but
actually, on that note, caller, can I just say the Libertarian Party had a tweet recently in response to Joe Biden tweeting out the word democracy, and the Libertarian Party's response was this. Democracy equals mob rules that endangers individual rights. You're not the Libertarian Party's type of libertarian, I guess.
No, I think the Libertarian Party of America is the most soy beta cuck party imaginable. I think that they want to abolish democracy, so-called.
All right, this is fun and all. I guess this guy might be the one true libertarian. All right, let's just because I want to find an example of what I'm fucking talking about here. So, all right, let's look at the video. Self-identifying anarcho-capitalist Liberty 412 calls into debate Sam. I think that should probably have a space there. Grammar's totes important, yo. It doesn't go super well for him. Shocking. See, that is what I expect. Yes. All right. So let's see. So this is a 50-minute one. All right. They had some time to play with their food here. So let's go to like 25 minutes because there's a highlight bump there. And this is like this is going to be like a debate, an argument. They're talking about political topics and economics. I see two people who appear white. They're white people. And they're having conversations. It's incredible.
The 25%. I believe in the non-aggression principle. I believe in the non-aggression principle, but my court says that your evidence is bunk.
And it says that it proves that honestly you just were robbing Sam's house every day for 5 years.
My court has just declared that you're one of the members of the 25%. You're just in sheep's clothing. My court says.
Why would anyone use a court that says video evidence is fake? That doesn't make sense.
It is. I pursue what is in my best interest.
Yeah, this is how the law.
That's the way society works. And so my court says that you are actually one of the people. You are in the minority, not me.
Sam, it's in your best interest to defend your property. So that's what people do.
That's what I'm doing. And my court says that you are in my house.
Property. You don't live there.
Yeah, I do. Prove it. My court says that I proved it.
I have tons of evidence. Again, I have tons of evidence.
I have tons of evidence. My court says it's my house.
Again.
Look, I've got it. I've got it right here. Bill of sale from my court. Get out of my house. Get out of my house. Get out of my house.
It's not your house.
It is my house. I mean, my court says it is.
Again, the biggest utility.
My court says it is.
The biggest utility companies in this.
So we'll extrapolate a little because we're 26 minutes in. This could be a fun. I kind of want to watch this video all on its own for where we're hopping in because this is IMO. This is great. If you don't have any experience with the right wing libertarian ANCAP, which is anarcho-capitalism arguments, so their whole thing, it's like very little government, shit all being privatized. So you end up with like a lot of them arguing for like private courts, which Sam is now kind of, pointing out the issue with private courts is my court has ruled that I'm not guilty, so I don't care what your court rule, right? So I'd love to see the build up of how we got here. We jumped in here. I'll keep playing for a little bit, but this could be one to just listen to on its own. And I guess I should say that Sam clearly he has been around this block before. This is not his first bottom right quadrant of the political compass axis. This is not his first rodeo in that part of town.
My court says it is my house. And you have no response for that. Just because
Yes,
your
I
court
have
says
proof
it's
that
your
I
house.
live there.
I have proof that I live there. I have a court document that says it's my house.
Yeah, but no one trusts that court.
Yes,
Again,
it
that's a
does.
small
Yes,
court
I
that
do.
no one
Hold on for a
uses
second.
that court.
Who in this office trusts my court?
I do.
Everybody just raised their hand.
I trust the court.
Okay, so then you don't believe in the non-aggression principle.
No,
so again,
I do.
we're not
I
living
do.
in
You
ANCAP
don't
land.
believe in it. You don't believe.
How can you say How can you say you believe in non-aggression if you're just going to steal my house? That doesn't make sense.
No, you're stealing my house.
Hey, you don't believe in the non-aggression principle.
You're
I
stealing.
mean, in reality, who actually lives in the house? In reality,
I do.
Who actually lives there?
I do.
Okay, so then it's your house.
Okay.
Why, I don't bother you then. It's your house.
That's
if you
what I've
live
been
there,
saying.
it's your house.
I just have your house.
You're saying
I just got your house.
No, you said I
Good
live
luck,
there, and then
buddy.
you came in with a gun.
Sorry.
The marketplace has spoken. All right. Whew. Yeah, debates. Those can be some fun shit. Why would anyone pick a court that always decides in their favor? I could think of a reason or two. It's amazing how quickly these guys invent government as a means to support their society with no government. ANCAP's in a nutshell. If it weren't for the government, people would know how special I am. I'd be living in a mansion and have a girlfriend. Then I'd be the alpha male. Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who violates whose non-aggression principle. Blah, 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 blah. All right, we're gonna make a last donation because I like to do at least 3. Let's see. What if we scroll? I'm just scrolling past all those other tragedies. Here's some more tragedies. Because I'm proud to be an American. Because at least I know I'm free. Hi, my name is Debbie Bow. I am establishing a fund to help Amy with her recent run of bad luck. This summer, her furnace went out. She went the summer without air conditioning, which it still needs to be repaired. Then her engine went out on her vehicle, which is in the process of being fixed. On September 9th, Amy was leaving her sister's place, which is on the south side of Eau Claire. Oh, I don't know that town. Amy is diabetic. Her blood sugar dropped to 20 while driving. She was unaware how she got near Bloomer since she was on her way home in the city of Eau Claire. Amy hit a guardrail. The vehicle was totaled, along with the loss of her 3 dogs. Oh, that's sad. That's really sad. Those poor boys. They were such good boys. 3 dogs have been cremated at $300 each. Any help that can be provided to Amy would greatly be appreciated. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, fuck it. I'm not. Oh, should have made better choices, Amy. If when your blood sugar dropped while you were driving, you should have not done that. Don't you feel silly now? See, your dogs are all dead, and don't you feel the fool now? It's me, Captain Hindsight. When something bad happens to you, I'll be there to say, what if you had done a different thing instead, dumbass? Yeah, okay, that was me being a little sarcastic there, and mockingly making it's like, see, it's not a straw man, because a straw man is when you misrepresent the argument. See, what I'm doing is I'm presenting their argument, and it's just complete shit, but, like, that's not my fault. That's your fault. Get a better argument. If I make your argument sound like such shit, maybe it's because your argument is shit. Then you should, I don't know, feel some shame, or, practice some of that self-improvement you prescribed for everyone else. You fucking dolt. And I'm off the reservation here. No one knows what the fuck I'm talking about. I mean, some people do, but you know, whatever. Okay, we made it. It's that easy, all right? Someone send this to Elon Musk. It's that fucking easy to help your fellow man out. Boom, boom, bing, bop. Your fucking Inception. Boom. It's that easy. You can just help people. Improve society somewhat. What a fucking great idea. And alright, close things off, because I'm sucking on a cough drop, and I'm fucking losing the battle against this cough. Goddamn. Let's, yeah, you know what, this will be fun. Because we could talk about it all as a whole thing, but let's do, you know what, which one do we want? Yeah, Steven Crowder, man, him wearing the shirt that says "Fight like hell" when he just I'm too tired to think of insults that I can guarantee aren't problematic. So we'll just oh, I accidentally had the video muted somehow.
Oh, there he is! Oh no, Sam Cedar, what a fucking nightmare! Oh no, Sam Cedar, what a fucking nightmare! Oh no, Sam Cedar, what a fucking nightmare! Oh no, Sam Cedar, what a fucking nightmare!
I always respect people who enter into the arena. You're gonna do anything you can to avoid the debate. Come on, man. No idea that you were taking your show off early last time. I had no idea this was going to happen. Oh no, Sam Cedar, what a fucking nightmare! 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 I always respect people who enter into the arena.
Seems that Steven Crowder had gotten some cold feet, so I don't think he's coming.
Why is that?
I would love to ask him myself. He's not even answering it anymore.
Oh no, Sam Cedar, what a fucking nightmare! 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 I had no idea this was going to happen. I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy.
Now see, has a video essay ever inflicted that much psychic damage on Steven Crowder? I say, I doth puffer, nay, it has not. That's the power of debate, motherfucker. Yeah, that. How about all that?
Oh, there he is! Oh no, Sam Cedar, what a fucking nightmare! Oh no, Sam Cedar, what a fucking nightmare! Oh no, Sam...
Alright, we'll stop it there. God. I guess I'll just say to end all this off. Steven Crowder, I'm talking to you. Me, right now, I'm talking to you. I will fight you in like a UFC arena under UFC rules with like a UFC ref, you know, whatever standard is for that. And while this might break the UFC rules, I promise that I will not only win our UFC match, I will also eat your nose. I will just... You're going to come into the octagon, you're going to have a nose on your face. When you leave the octagon, your nose is going to be in my stomach. Come at me, bitch. And that's the end of the stream. I hope to see y'all. Hope to be here again next Sunday, or this following Sunday, just a few days from now. Should be fun. Keep talking about shit. We'll keep helping people who desperately need the help. My God. It's I've said it before, but it's just I want to help all of them. I am limited by my income. If my income were not the limitation, I would just bing, 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 bing. I'd just be maxing all these things out. Shit. But we'll leave it at that for today. Hope y'all have a good one.